Hello. Good evening again, YouTube. My name's jamespfp. Here it is, the Banjocast. Pitchforks and flaming torches. The day has changed. We're back. We're over to Threes Day again, the hump day. Threes Day today is also known as Wrestling Day. Wrestling Day. So I call it anyhow. Wrestling Day. That's, for specific seasonal and religious purpose. And I am only, a part-time Discordian. I made that distinction quite clear in other places. Part-time only. Whatever that means. Part-time. So you might be wondering what tonight's deal is going to be. Tonight's deal is what it's been for the last week's worth of streaming, essentially. I've been working on a project I started a long time ago, and I want it done. I want it done and done proper. But while doing it, I figured, hey, excellent opportunity to use Blender to great effect. i.e., to show that it can be used for general purpose video editing, such as you might be used to in such as you may have already encountered in other locations, like in other pieces of software, perhaps stuff you had to pay for. This is a beautiful thing in the sense you don't have to pay for it. So here we can see I've got a series of still shots which I'm using to go between cuts. I won't have to do anything on either side of this one. This one will stay there, here, and then the next number. This is excellent. And I won't tease anything for this session, seeing as I've been going back in time and showing what I've been doing. What I will do is turn on my voice recorder unit. Got the chat up. The chat is live, by the way. Anyone wants to say anything on stream via the chat room is generally displayed here. I've got a big camera interface here getting in the way in a moment. I'll bring that down. I'll also make this window smaller. Hey Seb, how you doing? Imagine you might be a first-time viewer. I don't know for sure though. Maybe you're a subscriber and I've never had a chance to say hello to you. If not, hello. If so, hello. Tonight, I've got two ends of the task to finish up. One is I've got a bunch of overdubbing for this particular video project. It's got a lot of audio. It's over. I do use OBS, and yes, cool, subscriber, excellent. I use OBS and to good effect. You can see it on the screen tonight. So I've got a bunch of different things set up for OBS. Like this one is the one I usually start the stream with. I got a little announcement card that I can flash. And then there's this one that basically just does a screen capture. And then I have two different audio channels which I control. One for the program's desktop audio and one for the microphone that I'm using. Tonight's split between the mic on the camera and this microphone, which is a Zoom audio recorder. And what I got to do, is another X number. I got to do a bunch of these overdubs, which will be going into this video project. But when I first recorded them, I basically did a bunch of dummy tracks. So I read the numbers that I needed read off of the list, and then I went ahead and performed the voice parts myself. Some of the time I want to keep them, some of the time I won't. For example, I'll show you. 177. They're here. That will stay exactly as it is. The number on either side of this particular exchange. Can you style the YouTube chat using the link above? Remove spaces. I don't know, but I could do also this to make it easier to see, which I figure is probably just as good. Yeah, it removes the link. I prevent linkages for the time being. If you want to send me something in a link, send it to me in an email. My email is the same as my username. Chat CS generator. Cool, yeah, thank you. YouTube chat CSS generator. Cool. OBS would have an interface for that. Yeah, I know. Which is awesome. It'd be nice to put that on the screen. So yeah, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm at 176 in the list. The list only goes up to 206. So I have to do these recordings first. And I have to get into character in order to do the recordings. So that takes a little bit of work. Just a little bit of work. Hitting record. Yeah, get into character. Get into character. Get into character. Very easy. This is easy. Oh, he's not playing a video game? Got it. Oh, he's not playing a video game? A joke in the book, how good Kyle got at Tiger Woods golf. And he looted his copy, perhaps. Truth that's in the book. Next one, there, here, I already got it. Don't have to worry about it. 78 is 178. Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the 4x3 rectangle of a bland bah, messed it up. Try again. Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the 4x3 rectangle of a brand LCD screen turned off. Product placement. Bam, that's 2. Only 30 of these suckers to do, only 30 of them. And then I'll be able to pop them into Blender and start doing the rest of the work. Lazy screen idle. Oh, this is a troublesome one. This is hard because I don't want to rush through it, and all the words are important and they need to be well enunciated. Lazy screenwriters should be taken out behind the hovels wherein they reside. Right. Lazy screenwriters should be taken out behind the hovels wherein they reside, the filthy, broken down flophouse hovels that they are, and summarily beaten to death with a Nerf bat for writing "Look at you" in a screenplay. Boom! First try, look at that. That's how it is done. It is how it is done. The doctor says what is even more insane is that he's only chronologically 5 years old, 6 foot 4 inches or not. Bam. Next one, 81. Gee whiz, I want to be a third of the way through in no time. Yeah, the daughter is losing teeth she only got last week. Afraid she's swallowing it is the least of her troubles as long as the audience keeps swallowing the film. So I give myself about a second or two pause at the end before I hit the pause button, and then I give myself a nice easy place to find the cut. I can see that when I get it into Blender. Philosophy malfunction. Ooh, be careful. Malfunction, that's a whole other channel. Philosophy malfunction. Is Kyle still a sheepdog if he stops a sheepdog by beating it to death, or is it safe to assert he is now a wolf and has been one all along? Next one. Removes belt, not in the book, but thanks Pa for fucking my sense of moral turpitude. I've got 2 options for how to take that one. That may be the better one. Awkward, Kyle. The book makes it very clear Kyle only hits people with his fists, when he's not shooting them, that is. The book describes many instances of Kyle getting into brawls, particularly between the 3rd and 4th deployments. Kyle even admits he has a violence problem in the book. So I wrote this back in 2015 after reading the book American Sniper and viewing the movie. And the dissonance which is introduced by the difference between the two of them is so great as to beg whether either one of them should be believed. However, rather than belabor the point, I'm going to do this as a half-hour or 45-minute YouTube video with a joke to sell it. The joke is the accent. Kyle did see medical and scientific folk for a long term. Try it again. Kyle did see medical and scientific folk for long-term mental issues. But the doctor in this scene is meant for us, not for Kyle. It's funny 'cause it's true. Ever seen things that you wish you hadn't done? So here's one that has a break in it. Actually, it's only this little small piece, and then I've got voice acting on either side of it. So this is an easy one. Dr. Phil, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Phil, ladies and gentlemen. Clap, 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 clap. Here comes the next one. Pumping through, pumping through. Third done, 2/3 to go. Oh, glad you mentioned that, Kyle. Now we can heal you immediately by reminding you all about the other vets. That is in the book, at least. It's presented in the book that he's never diagnosed, but he's immediately healed of his problems by being able to focus on other people's problems which are worse than his. Sort of. Kyle is exploited, lol, because he makes group therapy sessions fun. I can't really get the sarcastic smiley face there. Automatically, gung-ho Kyle gets into vet retreat so they can do good work for the NRA. Everyone is happy, especially the guy who's been getting testosterone injections. Here's another cut. Proud sponsor of this film, American Eagle Ammo, product placement, poor taste or otherwise. Oh, this one's easy. Damn, I miss my balls. Might want to try that a couple different ways. Damn, I miss my balls. Pause it. Do you want to try it again? Damn, I miss my own balls. No. Pause. Damn, I miss my balls. 4 different takes there to choose from. Might want to use the last one. I could practice this ahead of time to make it a little bit easier. But the answer is actually this dude down in Uruguay who shot 16 armed communist guerrillas with his M4 at over 1,400 yards blindfolded. Here we go. Trust me is bad screenplay humor for foreshadowing that is cast upon a lampshade. As time has gone on, my voice has gotten lower and lower in doing this. Obligatory, I saved the relationship with my son, sequence number 1. Obligatory. Sequence number 2. I've got a voice acting thing for I Am My Daughter. I've already got that done. Kyle describes himself as the prankster in the book, but we need padding that also clearly establishes she loves him. Here comes the next one. Kyle lectures more than his own dad, who was a deacon. Oh, and son bonding, because it's at least twice as important. So sequence number 3 or 2, depending on how you look at it. because indoctrinating kids is cool. Tricky. Here's a long one. February 2nd, 2013. The second date to be explicitly identified on screen, and the events of this day are definitely not in the book. Who pays money to be able to protect specific dates in infamy? All right, lobby groups. In other words, February 2nd is now intellectual property in some sense because of the movie. Other than Groundhog Day, if you can believe that. Great big old family bonding joke with a loaded pistol on the day Dad died by a gunshot. Wow, this is just clickety-click. "Oh, baby" is a minor felony among scriptwriters, but saying "look at you" twice, see 179. Funny because it's truer than true. Moment of editorialization brought to you by the book. Kyle describes the man who kills him. Movie adds much detail in a long expository Kyle explanation. Wow, I'm actually impressing myself here with some of these words. Daddy likes video games too, but not when he's in the movie. And besides, I've never seen you before, kid. Who the fuck are you, Bubba? Two more. Poke the bear. Yeah, that's what makes... Oh. Poke the bear. Yeah. Let's make sure everyone teaches their kids about bear baiting, like in the good old days. Then, when they're bad, we can use bears to scare the bejesus out of them, just like in the Bible. Or just use the threat of Santa, like in Kyle's book. There's a big difference between what occurs on the... well, I had to put this. There's a big difference between what occurs in the book and what occurs on screen. Some of the philosophy of what might have motivated Kyle, that's louder on screen than it is in the book. Chris Kyle was killed that day by a veteran he was trying to help. NRA language, but obviously they don't mind... Oh, sorry. NRA language, but obviously they don't need to put a logo on there anywhere. A lobby doesn't use product placement. Dripping sarcastic ending. I do believe that would be it. Totally gets me to the end of this, the long, drawn out and somewhat tedious part. But look, the longer and drawn out and tedious part is to come. Once the audio is finished, I can start dressing up the visual elements. That's the other thing which, in fact, it's the thing which Blender does better. The video rather than the audio, but the audio is kind of essential, so I might as well do it. Popping it over, see, yeah. Ooh, here's the last one. It's about as big as the first one that I made. That's excellent. Distortion? Nope. Obs Rec? Yep. Easy peasy, nothing to it. Now that that is done, get this back into the machine where it belongs. I got a hard drive and a audio recorder and I ain't afraid to use it. Well, guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the Ruskies. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the Ruskies. So here we have the audio I just recorded. You can see that they basically already line up on everything here. There'll be a couple spots where I made a mistake and something maybe needed to be shoved one way or the other. Maybe places where the audio is not quite as long as the previous take. There are also places where I've got voice acting added in. So this quite obviously belongs over that one. I'm acting out the roles of rather than using the actual sound track or the actors themselves. So there are places where I've physically recorded what the script lines were and I'm reading the script. Hmm. 1.1, I think that's going to have to be at least 1.2. And I'm going to do the same to the rest. Let's see how this works out.
76.
Oh, he's not playing a video game? A joke in the book, how good Kyle got at Tiger Woods' golf.
And he looted his copy, perhaps.
Right? So this here, see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that noise. I'm going to bring this back to about there.
And he looted his copy, perhaps.
Shift K that part. And bring that back as well. And bring that forward. So here now I have these three audio sections.
Oh, he's not playing a video game? A joke in the book, how good Kyle got at Tiger Woods' golf. And he looted his copy, perhaps.
177.
They're here. Which gets me this one.
Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the four.
Right, so I don't need to hear this bottom take anymore. And I know that I got this top one. I think I did it twice. I think this is the better take that follows.
Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the 4x3 rectangle of a brand LCD screen turned off. Product
170.
Product placement will be moved in a little. I'll fix the timing there. And the way to fix that timing, C is in between here. I'll put a soft cut there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 should be enough. And bringing that in. I'm going to get both of these strips at once now. G, hit X to maintain that maintain the level that they're on, the layer.
78.
Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the 4x3 rectangle of a brand LCD screen turned off. Product placement.
179. Lazy scriptwriters should.
Oh, baby. My favorite, my very favorite. Oh, I said that a couple times last stream.
Lazy screenwriters should be taken out behind the hovels wherein they reside, the filthy, broken down flophouse hovels that they are, and summarily beaten to death with a Nerf bat for writing "Look at you" in a screenplay. The doctor says what
That's the hard cut position. That's the soft. That's the soft ending. Huh, why did I have it that long? That's the question I have now.
Play.
Truth be told, you hear that on almost everything nowadays.
The doctor says,
that's why I had a little editorialization in my last take, huh? Yeah, I'll let it sit on the screen for a bit. Could also move everything else in to accommodate this shorter cut. Let me measure the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 52 or something in the gap. Okay. This will fit to there. One, 2, 3. Here's the most significant change I've made in a long time to this project. So I'm going to be very careful about this one. Blender's nice for this. I need to select all of this data and shift it back to a known distance from this cut point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right about there. So the scrub tool right now is going to determine where that cut point is. I need to know to line it up with this line. But to get all of that data that I need to move, I got to go box select with a B key. Select only that data. Zoom in on this end of it, hit G, hit X. Now I can't move it up to another layer. But you can see how the number here next to the mouse is incrementing, the little number in the corner. And now I can move it back to where the scrub line is, precisely what holding shift.
The filthy, broken down flophouse hovels that they are, and summarily beaten to death with a Nerf bat for writing "Look at you" in a screenplay.
180.
The doctor says
what is even more insane is that he...
So this can be all deleted.
Is that he's only chronologically 5 years old, 6 foot 4 inches or not.
181.
The funny part of this is, who are we talking about here? He's only chronologically 5 years old, 6 foot 4 inches or not. Shift K. G to bring that back. Can see now already that this one here, when it moves, will be like this. And if it lines up well with the ending here, I won't have to make any alterations. There may be a bad take in here.
Yeah,
the daughter is losing teeth she only got last week. Afraid she's swallowing it is the last of her troubles, so long as the audience keeps swallowing this film.
As long as the audience keeps swallowing the film.
Boom. Shift K to get the hard cut there for the next piece.
81.
Yeah. Inches or not.
180.
GX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be just a slight lag.
Inches or not.
181.
Yeah. The daughter is losing teeth she only got last week. Afraid she's swallowing it is the least of her troubles as long as the audience keeps swallowing the film.
182. Philosophy malfunction. Is Kyle still a sheepdog if he stops a sheep?
Philosophy malfunction.
82.
Philosophy malfunction. Is Kyle still a sheepdog if he stops a sheepdog by beating it to death, or is it safe to assert he is now a wolf and has been one all along?
183. He removes belt.
I'm using key presses, which I've been detailing for the last several episodes. I'm hoping I wouldn't have to keep speaking them aloud, but just so you might be finding out for the first time or not, it's Shift K on the top one here to get a hard cut that I can't move the end back any further. On the bottom ones, though, I'm using a rolling cut with just a regular K. And because of that, I get a little bit of wiggle room with the numbers.
183.
Removes belt, not in the book, but thanks Pa for fucking my sense of moral turpitude.
184.
Awkward,
Kyle.
The book makes it very clear. Kyle only hits people with his fists.
Looking for this end now, because I know that I'll want to bring that up to about there. Damn, what the hell happened there? Control Z. That would be better. Gotta wait for all of these waveforms to now load in. Didn't take very long. Shift K on the top one, G to bring this back to wherever the end of the take is. Let's try it here. Let's see how this works.
Moral turpitude.
184.
Awkward, Kyle. The book makes it very clear. Kyle only hits people with his fists. When he's not shooting them, that is. The book describes many instances of Kyle getting into brawls, particularly between the 3rd and 4th deployments. Kyle even admits he has a violence problem in the book.
185. Kyle did see medical and scientific folk for long-term mental issues.
This goes to about here, I think. G up to about there. Kyle
did see medical and scientific folk for long-term mental issues. But the doctor in this scene is meant for us, not for Kyle.
Soft cut there. G to get rid of the old audio that gave me an idea of how long to make that video, but only that's all it did. The only reason I did the first take was to get a rough idea of how long to make the video information, the base information. Everything else, I get the benefit of this. Hide for a second.
Have you ever done or seen things you wish you hadn't? Dr. Phil, ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Here's a rolling cut. I'm going to get rid of the word yeah there. And I'm going to get this all the way back to here. And now on this one, Alt H to make it not hidden again. Shift K because I'm only needing this much audio. This one now can move all the way over here, I think. Even over here, look. Kyle. Right to there. So here's how this works. This has to fit inside of here.
186. Have you ever done or seen things you wish you hadn't?
Dr. Phil, ladies and gentlemen.
Wish I hadn't written that I belted Jesse Ventura without getting a proper handshake agreement with him ahead of time. Oh yeah, wish I had clean shoot those looters in Katrina neither. 187. The thing that haunts me. Oh, glad you mentioned that, Kyle. Now we can heal you immediately. That haunts me.
Oh, glad you mentioned that, Kyle. Now we can heal you immediately by reminding you all about the other vets. That is in the book, at least.
188.
Shift K. Get the ending piece, snap it back, go to this one, check the timings. This looks to me like it could probably go over this way more. This look, all of it. All of that could go back to there.
88.
Kyle is exploited. Lol. Because he makes group therapy sessions fun.
189.
Shift K there, moving this one over first. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna... Did I get through this one in one take? I did. Look at that. Lucky, lucky me.
8.
Kyle is exploited.
Kyle is exploited. Lol. Because he makes group therapy sessions fun.
189.
Automatically,
gung-ho Kyle gets in.
Automatically, gung-ho Kyle gets into vet retreat so they can do good work for the NRA. Everyone is happy, especially the guy who's been getting testosterone injections.
190.
It could be anybody, right? It could be, that could be a transgendered person. I'm just saying.
89.
Automatically, gung-ho Kyle gets into vet retreat so they can do good work for the NRA.
190. Proud sponsor of this film.
It's a shift, or no, sorry, that's just a regular K at the bottom there.
Proud sponsor of this film, American Eagle Ammo. Product placement, poor taste or otherwise.
Damn, I missed my balls is the next one. I need to shift K that. Gonna snap that back to there. Gonna listen to this.
Damn, I miss my balls. Damn, I miss my balls.
Nope.
Damn, I miss my own balls. Damn, I miss my balls.
That's the one. We got a keeper. Shift K at this point gives me that one back. Didn't think I'd ever get that ball back, but I did. So the best game of golf I ever had. Alt H. Looking for there. That's a K command. G to move this thing back here. I'm right clicking to select the end or the middle of a clip. This looks like this. Snap. Who's legend now is the question. This looks like that is the correct one. Shift K, I'll take a chance on it. G, move this in. Let's go to about there. K on that side. Get the voice acting.
Who's the legend now?
The answer is actually this dude down in Uruguay who shot 16 armed communist guerrillas with his M4 at over 1,400 yards blindfolded.
193.
Trust me, is bad screenplay humor for foreshadowing that
In stereo. This take is written in the stars, man. It needs to be delivered with grace, aplomb, and an even
193.
Trust me, is bad screenplay humor for foreshadowing that is cast upon a lampshade.
194.
True words to be spoken about this film. Many true words. Shift K on this part. Bring it back. Look. Obligatory, save the relationship with my son. That's that one. Okay, I can get rid of that. I am my daughter. Section number 2. Okay. And G to move it back. And right here, that would be a shift K. G to move it back. G to move this side over. I right click to reset it there to be a little more precise. And now I can knowingly snap that in here. So this is what I've just done.
This gorillas with his M4 at over 1,400 yards.
3 without even listening.
193.
Trust me, is bad screenplay humor.
194.
Obligatory, I saved the relationship with my son, sequence number 1.
195. And my daughter.
Sequence number 2.
196. Kyle describes himself as a prank.
Okay, Kyle. I might want to make that a little bit further back though, okay? So 1, 2, shift K on the cut point. Comes back to about here. Here on this one. It's K, and I think I get rid of all of this.
196.
Kyle describes himself as the prankster in the book, but we need padding that also clearly establishes she loves him.
197. Kyle lectures more than his own dad.
K there. Grab, get rid of everything. I want that little white dot there to be
197.
Tap. Generally.
Kyle lectures more than his own dad, who was a deacon. Oh, and son bonding, because it's at least twice as important.
198.
Because indoctrinating.
Got it, Bubba.
Shift K. G to move that back. G to move this one forward. And now G to shift the entire track back.
Because indoctrinating kids is cool. 100.
Hash. K there. G, move that back. And I'm also going to do the same thing here. I wish to move this entire phrase back a little bit. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. G, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 10. 1, 2. Should be more than enough. Snap. Now G and sliding it back a bit.
Got it, Bubba?
Because indoctrinating kids is cool.
199.
Oh, look at the timing on this one.
February 2nd, 2013.
2013.
The second date
The second date to be explicitly.
Snap that back.
February 2nd, 2013. The second date to be.
Shift K. G goes back.
February 2nd, 2013. The second date to be explicitly identified on screen, and the events of this day are definitely not in the book. Who pays money to be able to protect specific dates in infamy? All right, lobby groups.
I think I can save a second or two at the end of this thing too. So maybe that's what I'll be doing. That means this thing can come into like 1, 2, 3, about there. Even farther. Even there. Which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 or so before that falls back into track. And we're pretty much at the end of the project here now anyhow, at least for the video and the audio at the very base of the project. I hit the X key there.
Dates in infamy? All right, lobby groups.
200. Great big old family bonding
Great big
joke
old family.
with
K there. G, bring it back. This one goes to here. Shift K there. G. That one. I'll take a guess on that one. Shift K. Maybe I made a mistake or two in this. We'll have to check it.
200.
Great big old family bonding joke with a loaded pistol on the day Dad died by a gunshot.
201. Oh, baby.
Oh,
Is a
baby,
minor
is a
felony
minor
among
felony.
script. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby is a minor felony among scriptwriters. But saying look at you twice, see 179.
202. Moment of editorialization brought to you.
Snap to there.
202.
Moment of editorialization brought to you by the book.
203. Kyle describes the man who killed.
Okay, G. Bring it back. A little farther, maybe a little farther than that even.
Kyle describes the man who kills him. Movie adds much detail in a long expository Kyle explanation.
204.
Daddy likes video games too.
Who the fuck are you, Bubba? Okay, there. I can get rid of all of that.
4.
Daddy likes video games too, but not when he's in the movie. And besides, I've never seen you before, kid. Who the fuck are you, Bubba?
205.
Pope.
Who the fuck are you, Bubba? That was funny when I wrote it. Especially since the use of Bubba earlier on had been established as, you know, the language. I might have to hide this one for a second. Just hide it for a minute.
Pope the bear. Yeah, that's what makes... Oh. Poke the bear. Yeah, let's make sure everyone...
Oh, that looks like a pretty close fit. Snap that back to there. Unhide this segment.
105.
Poke the bear. Yeah, let's make sure everyone teaches their kids about bear baiting, like in the good old days. Then, when they're bad, we can use bears to scare the bejesus out of them, just like in the Bible. Or just use the threat of Santa, like in Kyle's book.
206. Chris Kyle was killed that day by a veteran he was trying to help. NRA language. But obviously,
snap it at back. Here we go. Shift K to get rid of this piece. All the way back to there. Here we go. Snap that forward.
Chris Kyle was killed that day by a veteran he was trying to help. NRA language, but obviously they don't mind. Oh, sorry. NRA language, but NRA language.
It's soft cut here to get the to build it here, and then G to move it forward a little bit, bring it back, snap that to there, and there's lots of space.
NRA language. Chris Kyle was killed that day by a...
In fact, I'm going to get both of these, grab on the X and move them back. You know, that one's going to go that way.
6.
Chris Kyle was killed that day by a veteran he was trying to help. NRA language, but obviously they don't need to put a logo on there anywhere. A lobby doesn't use product placement.
But that's the end of it. How much time did I shave off the end there? I actually saved about 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Copy V. So now the new end of the project has been established. I could let it all play through and give you an idea as what it is we've been doing in this first big smack. But as I said earlier, I had this original track, which is this audio down here. Had an original track which I recorded as a dummy track, and then partway through I decided to overdub in.
Kyle pegs the driver of a car bomb. Number 38.
I might want to slow
Kyle
this
pegs
down.
a man setting an IED. Number 39. She's married a killer. To play it as if this was romantic. Number 47.
Melodrama over little brother Kyle being sent to Iraq with the Marines.
Number 48.
Headshed briefing on Al-Qaeda assets and local power structure. Number 1 dude, Zarqawi. The only reason to use Zarqawi is because of all of the news coverage, not because he was in Fallujah.
Number 39.
Because SEALs are actually trainers and personnel coaches when they're not watching porn and playing video games.
Like 62. Ramping up psychology. Butcher. Mustafa. Drill in kid's leg. Bullet stopped by helmet. All fictional. Number 6
Phone call is in the fictional family
and on it. We're hunting Dollar Navy.
unknown alias who is identified.
He come. He drill. Drill. Drill.
Died.
He come. He drill. Drill. He drill. Drill. He drill.
That's shit you can do once you got the audio laid down, right? So, the very beginning.
February 23rd, 2015 at 3:33 p.m. for Tuesday. I've been sitting on this list for over a month, waiting to read the list of Oscar winners this morning, and then I started seeing posts about how this film was robbed. So please, to my dear friends and anyone else who cares to listen or read, here's a labor of love that took hours to type out and edit, unlike the fucking travesty that is the screenplay. By the way, when I did up the list, I was most impressed that I apparently shot up the script more times than Kyle had kills in Iraq. The opening titles use a Muslim calling the faithful to prayer with Allahu Akbar in order to create false tension. Gee, hasn't Eastwood come a long way as a director? Roll eyes. Number 1. Fucking hot box. Dirt here tastes like shit, says the guy who will later be lying in a puddle of his own piss. Number 2. Obvious spotter with a cell phone.
I might want to do the first. I might want to do the first part of this again just to get the numbers separated from the voices. This sounds better.
Obvious sarcasm was ruled out in rehearsals, and instead they decided to play it as if this was romantic. Number 47.
Melodrama over little brother Kyle being sent.
I kind of like it better the other way. Gotta be honest. This way, I mean. With so little left to do, it's only 47 of them. Shucks, and I did 70 out earlier. No, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna just sit on it. It'll be great. But one thing I am gonna do now that I got it to this point is I'm going to look at well, I got an option of using a full copy of this. That's what I'm thinking about. Like to render out a version that doesn't have all of these audio cuts. Where the worst part of this is already taken care of. Like it's been mixed together, so I'll have, still images with a dark, like black screen between them to divvy them up. I have no desire to fade them or crossfade them or something. Or move them on and off the screen. Just on and off is fine. But I might want to add other elements on top of what's already been put there. Which is what I can do if this was rendered out to a final project already. So where are we going with this? Well, we'll go to renders, yeah, sure. And it's snipe stills. No. We're going to call this something else. We're going to call this sniper base cut. And it's got this. This is all correct. 30 frames a second will be used. Anti-alias and sound. We don't need to worry about any of that right now. That's the thing that I just put in here. I don't want it to be a JPEG though. I want it to be an H.264 video. And the bitrate can be way lower. In fact, because there's so little change in I could probably get away with as low as 1200 bitrate or lower. AAC, AAC3, one or the other will work best. The bitrate needs to be higher. I'll go 192. I saved the project. The very next thing which will be occurring is a render of the animation. This should not take very long, since there's very little happening other than still images being compiled in audio. So I'm going to let it go while it does its thing. And yeah, there's a black screen at the beginning. Currently a minute of black screen at the beginning. Or blank. I guess you could think of it as a blank too. So while that is rendering, maybe this is a good time to do some music.
A highly derivative something else.
You see now it's already 2% done.
This one's called Puff Puff Pass Fernando.
It's going to take I think it's going to be a 50-minute render.
Cause it's called Puff Puff Pass Fernando. Many years it's been since I saw you with a reefer in your hand. Can you hear that bomb, Fernando? Did you find it? That dandy little glass one you got outside of Disneyland. And I can see it in your eyes, that glassy stare when you take a rip upon it, man. Well, it was years ago, Fernando, when we met in Tijuana at a swank resort hotel. Maybe it was Acapulco. You worked the bar, Fernando. You were bloody well connected to the Zetas, I heard tell. And it was tattooed up and down your arms, the wide variety of substances you'd sell. Cause we got into the nitrous first. My guts done burst, Fernando. With a great big bag of coca leaves for you and me, Fernando. And though we never thought that we would run out of grass, got a dealer who delivers, man, with a great big van, Fernando. We were younger than Fernando. Will you put me in recovery position if I faint? Well, I'm feeling right, Fernando. Cause I feel just a little queasy from all the smorgasbord we ate. And if you think that it's too early for this song, I'm here to tell you it's too late. Can you hear the drums, Fernando? Many hours, many minutes seem to last eternity. In the firelight, Fernando. Yeah, it was fucking pretty trippy once we dropped the LSD. Then the magic mushrooms, mescaline, and let's not forget the peyote. I think, but not the drink. Sing no, 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 I don't smoke it no more. Thank you. A little bit of everything there. That's a cover here. Cover with feeling. I'm just banging right through them. Next one is, I think Doris Day made it famous. She didn't write it though, it's a Cuban guy wrote it. I'm trying to remember his name now. You asked me, do you love me? And so, how am I ever to know? You only answer, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. A million times I asked you, and then I asked you over again. You only answer, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. So if you can make a mind up, we will never get started. Well, I don't wanna wind up being parted or broken hearted.
Oh!
So if you really love me, say yes. But if you don't, dear, confess. And please don't answer. Perhaps, perhaps, perhaps.
Screwed that up a bit. So the render's going down. How's it taking? Still says an hour, huh?
So if you can make a mind up, we will never get it started. And I don't wanna wind up being parted nor broken hearted.
All else fails, we shall whip the horse's eyes.
Love me, say yes. And if you don't, dear,
Then you should,
yes.
and please don't answer. Don't you say perhaps,
Perhaps,
perhaps, perhaps.
perhaps.
Anybody in the chat?
I said, please don't tell me. Perhaps, perhaps,
Or
perhaps.
anybody watching, I mean to say?
Well, I said, please don't tell me. Perhaps,
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 perhaps.
Thank you. All straightforward.
Thanks for sticking around, Seb. So this is halfway through, pretty much. The hard work is really done, all of the positioning of audio and the main video data. The next pass after this render will be to add additional video elements to the video only. And if any corrections need to be made, I'll be keeping this project as a separate stage so that I don't destructively get rid of it. I don't mistakenly delete it or something. But I've listened to these bloody audio sections so many times now. I'm frankly sick of my own work. However, it has to happen. It has to happen. Ooh, so my old pattern was, when I get to this stage, I might as well get my headphones off. If I get to this stage, I can afford to play a little bit of music. While sitting down and enjoying the render process. Yeah. So I got to thinking this week. I think a lot. I have lots of time on my hands. I thought about this. All right. Halfway there. Da, 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 da. It's not surprising it works well on a Greek tune machine. Da 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 da. Got up, went out this morning, brought along my banjo. Went to the street and upon the thing I played. Sick and tired of all the propaganda. Haha. Yeah, I got up on a fine sunny morning, went to the street and brung along me old banjo. Sick and tired of lies and propaganda I done heard on the Rachel Maddow show. Won't be long, I'll have that figured out. And then it's the Tetris theme to follow. Wait. Haha. The fun part of the evening, waiting for a render. I haven't had to do this in a long time. So the last video I rendered, hey, I put it up on the channel. It was called YYZ to YYT. After I uploaded it, I realized just how many other people had the same idea for a video like that. Hadn't occurred to me how much like train spotting airline flights have become. Not from the outside, but from the inside. So yeah, doing a search for YYZ to YYT was interesting on Google. Turns up like 2,000 responses or something. 2,000 hits. Incredible. Only 2,000, but that's 2,000 more than I expected. I'm like, wow, man. My video is only half an hour long. It's a 3-hour flight. 3.5, if you get a direct one. Yeah, that's the other alternative. YYZ to YHZ to YYT. I've done that as many as a time. More than once, let's put it that way. Where are you located, Seb? Oh, much better. Germany. Wonderful to have you, Seb. Things I can figure out on my little strum stick. I make this easier. I make this more interesting. If I get my filters here, I'll take off the scan lines, I'll take off the coloration. So now I've got just the blue screen. That's what I'm playing. Things that didn't occur to me when I first got this thing. I have to admit, I am an OBS user too. Sweet. Do you stream often? I might have to return the favor. If you're a subscriber of mine, I should subscribe to you. And I wonder, is much of our content being blocked on national levels from one another? Sometimes I wonder about that one. You stream under that name? Almost. You had copyright strike. Ah, that probably, okay. Have a look later. I have embed the YouTube chat not to consume much space, but still very visible. Cool. I find if I screencast, it's probably the simplest thing of all. Saves me having to set up any windows here in, like, between the scenes and the sources. I find when I use, I'll show you, when I use this one, I've got it set up to display a web page, but if I pop out the chat, it doesn't work well. So it's better off to screencast and show this up here. I will. Seb Green, I'm writing it down so I don't forget. List of topics. Cross-pollination is one of my curiosities in life. Seb. I was just doing that was a song from a local flavor. I had copyright strike. Yeah, I've also had a couple, but it wasn't a bad one. I don't monetize either. I don't plan on monetizing, not through YouTube advertising. So whenever I put something up, which happens to have copyright attached to it, if they catch it, then they stick ads on there, which I don't like. There's not much else I can do about it right yet. I think that's one of Styx's best ideas, although I had come to that realization before I ever heard Styx talk about it, if you know what I mean by Styx. I came to the realization before before Styx mentioned it. I got this one on Canada Day. It's quite happening. Yeah, he was blocked in your country, I heard. He mentions that from time to time. Guess there's ways around that too. You could always skip onto a Tor network somehow or another, or find a VPN elsewise, and still manage to get there. It's one of the funnier things I've noticed. I put up a video myself some time ago, and it happened to cover there was a pride parade here in town. First one I'd ever attended, and I filmed it from the inside of the crowd. I had a rig on me. Got blocked in Russia. I was amazed. I laughed and laughed, and I thought, wow, I never thought I'd get any viewers in Russia. Preemptively blocked. But that's that. First one I'd ever gone to. I was merely curious to get some footage from on the inside of the crowd just to see what it would be like. It was kind of funny. Yeah, I know, it's pure evil. I know. I figured that part out too. The funny part was it was preemptively blocked. It must have been blocked with any number of other videos that got published around about the same time. I laughed. It's good proof that I'm not a Russian, though. I'm not a Russian agent, I mean. Real good proof. Oh yeah, this is slowing down the computer like all get out. So this particular project is a criticism done in the style of a Werner Herzog documentary as to the reasons why American Sniper did not deserve any Oscars. That's the project I'm working on. Nobody's a Russian agent, not knowingly. They're only secretly. This is where we're going to start discussing Philip K. Dick next. Philip K. Dick, anybody? Valis and Radio Free Albemuth, etc. They are bullshit. Exactly. They're bullshit anyway. Besides the fact there were reasons why it wouldn't have even won in a bullshit environment. It was because the bullshit environment, it was guaranteed it wouldn't win anyway. So it's pretty expensive bit of work, that one. The White Helmet's got one too. Oh, right. Forgot all about that. You know, I stopped watching. I stopped watching those things. Wow. Yeah, that goes a long way towards saying everything, doesn't it? So, Obama should get a couple. I've been making a lot of animatronic. Animatronic Obama is a shoe-in for February. Yeah, for Oscar this year. Animatronic Obama saves the French election. Around the world in a private jet with animatronic Obama. I got a million of those. Bang, 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 bang. As fast as you can want. Fast as you want them. Oh man. What was the name of there was 3 big hacker movies in the last, say, 40 years. One of them is Sneakers. Sneakers was fundamental. The second one I think was called Hackers, and it was a knockoff comparatively. And now they're going to have to reboot that. They're going to have to reboot the knockoff. So whenever that happens. Hackers. I think it was called Hackers. Was the name of the movie. Young Angelina Jolie. You're a hacker, yeah. We're all hackers sooner or later. That's why I'm using Blender, dude. I use Blender so I can use like scripts from time to time. I'm not a hacker. That could be dangerous. Instead, I go on about it the other way. We could work with something else other than internet calls. Yeah, exactly. The second one was a knockoff compared to Sneakers. Sneakers was at least getting closer to reality. Sneakers had Whistler. He was a hacker. He was proper hacker. You know, that hacker and thief sense. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. So many types of hacking predated the internet. It's a fact. Shit that you can do when you know how to type. Yeah, I play with it too. I don't play with it in the sense of purely idle. I play with it in the sense of musical instrument. The muse drives me. In that sense, I play. I am a typical hacker. I tootle. Is it called tootling, right? Tootling. C, electric, Kool-Aid, acid test. Typical, I'm actually below typical because I don't spend as much time with the source code as I could. If I spent more time with source code, I would learn quite a bit from the code directly because I like learning the languages. Tootling. I'm that kind of hacker. I'm the kind that doesn't necessarily need a computer. I like working with direct metaphor. The metadata is out there. Yeah, it's true. True, exactly. Not necessarily coding. Sometimes it's flipping value or flipping switch. Sometimes people don't like that, eh? They call it bait and switch too. Not necessarily coding, true. Same way that a CSS script is not necessarily code. It is more a filter. Truth. Truth. Oop, I got a lighter here. You could. Agreed. I've been thinking a lot more lately about Bitcoin when it comes to that kind of thing. Certainly ways of putting Bitcoin so that other people might understand that it's got actual value. It has uses too. You're deep into that shit? Cool. So yeah, living on it? Even better. Interesting. I haven't made that move yet, but I've certainly thought about it. I'm going to be looking for, they're 18, yeah, true. Exactly. All with a different pseudo-metallic value. Truth, truth. I only use it as a convenient way to refer to many others. Blockchain is the better way of saying it. This is what drifts into initials game. Blockchain v Bitcoin. Bean counter another way. Truth, also usage. Is useful as a whole coin. Unique identifier plus random number for the crypto part. Thus can secure and or mine data. That's what I suspect is true, not just of Bitcoin, but of the blockchain system. It's the key and the wallet, right? Both coin and wallet is an interesting concept in the way that the math works. If you could provide it with a large body of unique data, it could mine coin value from it for the numbers that you're looking for. For the uniqueness of the number and therefore the security of the data. Right. Every type of coin, yes. I'm also meaning each Bitcoin itself, or each whatever, each unique coin is unique in the sense that it has a wallet, has a address. Do you see what I mean? That's not the only thing which is shielded by the crypto part. The identity of the wallet holder. Yes, each currency, also to some degree, each coin. Depending on the currency. Agreed. Yes, each one is different. Agreed. I'm learning a little bit at a time. Well, what I've learned has been easy to pick up and understand, and I can see how it's going to work in the real world too. Bitcoin is slow and transfers are expensive. Yeah, it's slower now. Is it understood who controls each or any one of them? I wonder sometimes, is it geolocated to where specific ones are? ETH. Can't control them once released. Well, I think that's the reason why Bitcoin is particularly slow right now. That's the key. True enough. True enough. It's funny, a long time ago, a long time ago, 3 years ago, it was the last time that I sat down and seriously considered, and am I going to encrypt my hard drive when I format this time? Because so many transactions. Yeah, so who controls it now? That's the thing. The brokerage on the inside is going to start charging more and more interest on their end. It's slower, yes. Nobody in particular, nobody specifically has to, but someone still moderates the transaction. That's why it gets better when it's direct, like individual to whatever. But the brokerage, man. I had a funny feeling there at the beginning of December. I don't know how you felt about this one, Seb. You could tell me what you think. Beginning of December, I thought to myself, hey, I hear numbers like 14,000 being floated around in terms of new coins being offered. I have a funny feeling, though, as many or as little as 50 Bitcoins could have caused this same kind of action in the market. As little as 50. Specifically if they were attached to one of 3 wallets. And if that's the case, then the numbers would work out around about the same. That's a 1 Bitcoin investment returns 17 Bitcoins. Your thoughts? Sure, the miners keep it alive. Seb, if you're on Google Chat, man, I would certainly consider talking to you. 50 is way too little to move the market. I don't know, man. It depends on the 50. It depends on what those 50 have come from. Where they've come from. because in some regard I can see how those particular 50 may have specific kind of value in the terms of the information that was involved in the transaction. The number which I'm really pointing out here is 1 to 17. Because the difference in Bitcoin from Jan 2017 to December. Let's chat later? Okay. Because the difference in Bitcoin from January to December. I'm saying that 1 to 17 shows that kind of a jump better than 50 or 14,000 or... See what I mean? I wanted a lower number, not a higher one. Do you see my argument now? It's the rarity of the coin, right? So the lower the number or the lower the multiplier we're talking about, the better. I'm not saying there's anything special about the number 17, only that a rough estimate of how much profit was made from these particular 3 addresses. Essentially a coin. I wonder if the availability of coins essentially comes down to the more wallets there are, the more coins there are. And if that's the case, no, I mean it was 3 addresses in particular that held the value of about 50 coins. But that's not, I understand that was done in fractions of coins. There's no single coin that was given over to any one of those 3. But in terms of the profit, 3 coins got 3 addresses, 3 wallets together held 50. I'm going to call each wallet 1 for simplicity's sake. They must have at least 1 Bitcoin each that they put in on it, a wallet. And then they got 50 back for it, 1 to 17 each of them. Thinking like a pirate. I'm thinking like a pirate. If you don't understand what I mean by that, I've got a video on my front page about piracy. 50 is nothing. True. 50 is nothing. And 50 shouldn't move the market. But a 1 to 17 profit potential would more or less explain the numbers between January and December. To me. You can't create it. It's an algorithm which is grinding out more bits to its potential number. But it's also something which can be seeded. You can provide it something to seed it another number, and essentially another coin is minted at that point. Another set of numbers begins to get ground out. So distributing the number of miners in the world is becoming offered to a lot of people as a job, like something you can do. You were mentioning it a minute ago. I get you. No? It's funny, it's not what I heard here. I didn't believe it here either. I look at it and said, hey, I recognize if there's data that you want to actually encrypt, there's a use for the coin as well. And the value of the coin is then explained. You can use chat or you can use email. Chat's gonna take a settings change. Actually, I don't have slow mode enabled either. It's just stopping it because regular YouTube. Advanced. Live chat, slow mode. See if this works. This setting never sticks. Never sticks, never sticks. I wouldn't mind talking to Sticks sometime. Sticks, if you're out there, buddy, drop us a line in chat. I promise I won't block you. Promise I will not block, especially after all the content I've rebroadcasted. Yeah. All I'm doing here is rendering. I have to wait for the render to finish. It's soon going to be done. I've been thinking aloud much about another possibility. Suppose for a second, and some nation states' medical health database of all of its patient records or whatever. Consider all that as a whole without considering the actual data it contains. Think of it as ones and zeros, essentially a very large random number. If you wanted to encrypt all that data with something which was basically unbreakable, you would want something like a cryptocurrency to get the value of the data. Yes or no? Or put it another way, suppose Kekistan wanted to do that to its National Health Service, or whatever you want to call it. So when you go to the Kekistani hospitals of any kind, what you'd provide to them is your coin. That's what gets you the health service, because that's part of your value in the system, your own data. And there's only as many coins as is needed to cover the people in the country, or people of Kekistan. It has nothing to do with data. Well, it's funny, because what other use could those numbers possibly have? It's why it's not called cryptocurrency, because it covers the identity alone. I'm afraid that's not how I understand it. There's another side of the coin, and that is quite literally how to better encrypt data and what it can do once it's encrypted. If you understand what the value of the data is, or if you have an estimate of the value of the data, then you kind of have an idea of what the currency is good for. You could create a cryptocurrency which only services national health services. There are 17 million. There will never be. Yeah, there's a specific number of them until it gets to the end of its algorithm. Like, yeah, I understand. If you were to give it another seed, could it not come up with another arbitrary number? In a sense, it's no different than, I hate to make this so simplistic, but it's no different than Minecraft. In a sense. The thing which it renders uniquely every time. If it's left on its own, it will give you one outcome. But if you give it a seed number, it'll give you another outcome, which is also unique. Right. It cannot be replicated, only moved between wallets. That's true. These tokens which cannot be replicated, right? They're unique. That's the can't be replicated part. Can't be forged, right? Can't be tricked. You cannot change. I think you can provide a seed number to the algorithm, and the seed number itself could be a very large random number, and therefore you get a different type of currency which follows the same pattern, in the sense that the output number, these unique. That's what I'm thinking. That explains everything to me. That's where the value is in the coin. Some of these cryptocurrencies are based on actual property value that we know in the real world now. That's why I wonder about which one to move to. I want to choose very carefully. Some data is better than other data. Some coins are going to be tainted. Not because they're bad, not because the whole currency is bad, but because the data which gives them value is bad. That's part of this awakening. Not here only, but elsewhere. Right, once it is started, you can't. I agree with you. and it takes a long time to grind it all out. Now, quantum computers, next question. Quantum computers could make that a lot faster, correct? Since we are trapped in computing it one way otherwise, which is the long, drawn-out brute force takes forever way. I love having some discussions. There is a way to change something, but that would require approval if the majority of content of current miners. I'm pretty much talking about competing currencies. Currencies or subvariants. On a different seed. Some of the new ones are quantum safe. Bitcoin is not, yeah. This, in the sense that if you're thinking that you're going to be able to mine the value over a long period of time, the reality might be the quantum computer can do it in such a short. We're talking about photography where you send away your film, and it comes back 6 months later, and having an Insta camera in your hand, which gives you the picture right away. CoinMarketCap.com. Thank you. I shall, and maybe not right now, but I shall. That's what I'll be doing later when I get back to the fun. Quantum computer could insert fraudulent. Yes, in the chain. It's not possible in most of the newer ones. Monero was designed to be quantum safe. XMR already around 300. Sweet. This is the problem. This is the quantum computer problem. It's whether or not you can. It's how secure is the seed at the top. Thing that starts it. It's a chaos mathematics problem. Because we know that two machines set off in a chaotic system will go in two different directions, left on their own terms. Computers will do the same thing in linear. Quantum computers are going to get around it. So the seed is to me, that's the weak link. I have to ask you, Seb. This is totally left field now. Have you watched many Werner Herzog movies? Many of his films? Because I spent the last 5 days making fun of Werner. Not at his expense, mind you. Just I need to borrow the character. I'm trying to remember the name of the one where he filmed it in the middle of the jungle, brought a boat up over a mountain. You don't watch movies. Oh. I use them for, how to say it. It was, again, the metadata. Very useful for hacking. I also thought of doing a cut of this where the video portion would be all of the frames, but put together, bang, 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 so you get 30 frames a second. You don't really see any of the frames clearly. There's no sense of motion except for a very few spots. No need to watch artificial stories. Well, they might be artificial, but God damn it. Bertolt Brecht, God damn it. Sometimes necessary to have this artistic place for a safe distance. You can experience so much in life, but then it's also where I don't know how to put it. Don't know how to put it better than saying it ends up in bad ways in real life if left to its natural pattern. Bertolt Brecht, God damn it. I'm not necessarily a communist. Socialist, yes. Democratic, social democrat, yes. Oh, they are. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. In fact, I'm agreeing with you. I'm showing how this particular movie is crass propaganda. It shouldn't be ignored. I've got lots of ways of making the point, too. This is a great one right here. This one, not so bad. I find many of the older movies are the ones I get drawn back to. It's the older stuff which I'm trying to rationalize. How could this have worked in that time? Because it seems too good to be true. And when they want to reboot this, why? Why do they have to change these things which were better in the past to something else now? It doesn't make any sense. And then that's what makes me curious. That the old stuff matters a lot to me. I fell in love with Kurosawa because I like Star Wars so well. I'm glad that I learned how Kurosawa features into it. It's not the only thing, but it's a major thing. And one of the things Kurosawa did best was to take other stories from somewhere else. Like he took Macbeth and made Throne of Blood. Macbeth in Japanese terms was exceptionally good. A really good story. Easy to watch, fun to watch. That's, to me, that's good work. And of course, Lady Macbeth. Star Citizen. I gave up playing the games. That's the thing I gave up. I kept the movies and gave up most of the computer games. A little bit of Minesweeper. Have you seen Pioneer yet? favorite movie is Dark Star. Oh, I think I've actually seen that one. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, here you go. Here's something. Saw this down in the harbor. Ever seen that one before? No. Have you seen this? The picture on my screen. I had this. I put this up earlier today. Put it up earlier today. Yep. Long ago. I think it should be what you're seeing now on the screen for the podcast. Picture of the Ziyadla. What is in the picture? Oh wow. You can't see that? I'll bring it over this way. Oh, where is? This is down in the harbor here in my town. The Fishery Schutz. Ziyadla. I put this up earlier today. This was my background all day today. Here's the date stamp. 5/23. April 23rd. Yes. Yeah. First one I've ever seen. Couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. Come and see here. Put that up earlier today. That was before I knew you were coming here. Yes, fishing safety or observer. We would have considered observer. Infractions pertaining to regulations. We have lots of fisheries observers. We have them too. We have many of them. We see more of different nations now. That's the difference. We see some Japanese. We see some German. We see some French. Normally not French observers though. Newfoundland. I don't know if you can hear the wind tonight. It's pretty windy here. Hear the creaking? That's the wind. Only in the south. 27 U.S. states. I don't know. I haven't been to that many. So Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. I've been down to the eastern seaboard. I only seen 7. 7 of the 13. Ah, yeah. I can't do that. I'm afraid of breaking my fingers. I like my instrument playing too much. Mind you, Django could play though, minus a finger too. Calgary, yep. I haven't spent much time in Alberta myself, mostly in Eastern Canada. The last video I put up, the last regular video, not a stream, that'll give you an idea where I am. I should actually just get you the link. That'd probably be more gracious and the like. Hey, I didn't turn off the freaking shit. Under the channel. So yeah, the reason I pimp this one a lot. That's the reason I'm going for it. I should have it put into the video title. Put it into the bloody description for the next little while. If I want to punch it so much. This one. Hold short and take off is what it says in the thumbnail, but that's not the... Ooh. That's not the actual title for the video. But it'll give you a real good idea where I am. So the last, I think I might have mentioned this in the stream tonight, the last Werner Herzog. Film I watched was Grizzly Man, 2003, and it put many things into some perspective lately. Including the Punisher. The new Punisher was way easier with that, but anyhow. It's another case where there's an official narrative and there's not necessarily the truth. And the documentary goes a long way to establishing the truth, but I don't think it definitively does. Hard to find the truth? Yeah, it can be. I was on another chat room the last day or two, and we got in a discussion as to whether or not humanity was capable of evolving or past, its problems, or were we living in a time when we would see anything like an improvement in things, the general state of affairs. And I decided to pick up the opposite point, and I said, well, I will say one thing. I mean, the internet kind of allows for it's like telepathy. You can read my thoughts. And I can read yours in a way that we couldn't do before. I think we will too. I also said in the chat, I think the internet allows for a kind of lie detector that police science currently cannot claim to have. Like the police science version of lie detection is flawed compared to the internet. And we knew it was breakable anyway. We knew it could be hacked. But the internet is more difficult to fool. That is a big thing. And that everybody knows that. Everybody fucking knows that. That's cool as shit, man. Yeah, it breaks the stranglehold on the currency game in a way that could only be dreamed of a couple decades ago. It took a few years to happen, but it happened. Never whistle while you're pissing. By Hagbard Celine. There's another, I gotta actually tag this. Operation Mindfuck. Finally bringing the central banks down. Oh man. I haven't seen Hagbard Celine on YouTube in some time either. What the hell happened to him? He was funny, man. He was funny. This is so close to done. So close to done. At their will without any control, but there's also the problem of it's also the problem of the predatory nature of it, right? People are going to come to them looking for credit anyway. The fact that they're going after more people to come to them looking for credit is the problem. Bigger part of the problem. Did you see Brett Weinstein on Joe Rogan this past week? It is why they have power. They don't only have power, but they have most of the property. They have the property. That's what gives them power against what, against the political power of the people. So Joe Rogan interviewed Brett Weinstein at 10:55, I think. I did a criticism of the midway point of it. It's mostly paper. Tell that to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, man. That was a lot of paper that said mortgage. That was a lot of property. That was actual physical houses and ground and stuff. That's property. Their property isn't mostly paper until they sell it. Chris is the midway point of it. 5-hour stream this past week. It's a weird episode, that one. My theory is this: cryptocurrency is currently mopping up the mess that fiat currencies have made. It's mopping it up like an absorbent sponge. It's the same as if you think of fiat money as the BP oil spill. The cryptocurrencies are a type of thing which you throw at it to mop up the oil. Watch for the show. Hey, that just finished rendering. I can now save that and close that. First thing I'm going to do is see where I saved the actual file to. So it was under the renders folder. Cool, cool. The Droid phone. No, I need to go to Fisher Pupper. Base cut 500 megs or 400 and something. Where are? right here.
A numbered list of reasons why American Sniper didn't deserve any Oscars. Dateline February 23rd, 2015 at 3:33 p.m.
This is darkness at
for
the beginning.
Tuesday.
Waiting.
I've been sitting on this list for over a month, waiting to read the list of Oscar winners this morning, and then I started seeing posts about how this film was robbed. So please, to my dear friends and anyone else who cares to listen or read, here's a labor of love that took hours to type out and edit, unlike the fucking travesty that is the screenplay. By the way, when I did up the list, I was most impressed that I apparently shot up the script more times than Kyle had kills in Iraq. The opening titles use a Muslim calling the faithful to prayer with Allahu Akbar in order to create false tension. Gee, hasn't Eastwood come a long way as a director? Roll eyes. Number 1. Fucking hotbox. Dirt here tastes like shit, says the guy who will later be lying in a puddle of his own piss.
I couldn't maintain the 3 accents at once.
Number 2. Obvious spotter with a cell phone.
Spotter.
ROEs say don't shoot, even though everyone in the audience knows he's a spotter. In this way, we can pretend the ROEs were dumb too. Number 3.
I'm watching for places now that can add in things with visual elements and stuff, and I've already been thinking about the first minute.
A wrist bandolier, clearly visible.
Bing,
Product
bing,
placement, and not chronologically correct. Kyle mentions it in the book, specifically how he invented it and sells them at his sniper school business. Number 4. Eyes on this, can you confirm? No, is the answer. There's a witness right next to him, and the witness doesn't have a pair of binoculars. Number 5 is his first kill, then cut back to deer hunting. No apologies to Michael Camino, and none to Homer either, who uses in medias res way better.
Edit there.
Number 6. Don't leave your rifle in the dirt, says Dad.
Oh, one day.
And it's not in the
you've been
book.
watching what I've been doing
And
here.
only
you
in
can
the
see how
movie
do
to
it.
foreshadow a later scene.
That's what I've been trying to let loose to the world. Is if you watch what I've been doing, you'll see how to do this. There's more to the editing part. You can have them blended together. You can have them fading or wiping or whatever. But the willingness to sit down and put it there one clip at a time, or as many clips as you got arranged, it's not that hard.
When Kyle leaves his rifle in the sand, which is also not in the book. Number 7. The preacher on Paul is more annoying and dangerous than the Muslims calling the faithful to prayer. Number 8. There's 3 kinds of people in this world, son. Sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs. Not only is this not in the book, but it obviously owes more to Warner Brothers than it does to the Bible. Cartoon morality is what deacons do best. Number 9. Shooting the rodeo.
That's a red, was it Red Letter Media joke there?
Number 10. Rodeo belt buckles are to ensure a sex life.
Yeah, I've done the same thing for the last while, but it is kind of neat to do the work while live streaming, show people how it's done, and understand that Blender's free. It's basically then your own learning curve. If you can pass the learning curve with Blender, you get a pretty powerful tool. I did some work earlier this year, Seb. I'm sure you might be aware.
Number 11. Why do you think I do this, huh? I do it to get attention. So much for drama and for acting. Number 12.
I'm pleased with that one.
Righteous indignation because he watches CNN whenever he can't find Fox on the television.
Sounds more like I'm British there.
Number 13. Recruitment.
Yeah.
I don't quit. Number 14. Buds. Basic underwater demolitions. Not chronologically accurate. Number 15.
I might have to do something.
How old are you, boy? 30. Not according to the book, he wasn't. Number 16. Biggles, aka Job, doesn't follow the story of the book at all. Number 17. The end of Hell Week, as if that was the end of training. Number 18. Meet Taya, plus the idiot who strikes out first.
I'm going to tell you, Blender's got such a learning curve applied to it, but it's not that difficult. And if you like the script, then it's beautiful. It's perfect. And so you get a nonlinear video editor, a compositing system, and something to work with the clips individually, like if you need to do motion correction or stabilization, or if you want to track motion from a clip and transfer it to 3D space, it can do all of these things. So it's like you get the Adobe suite of video tools all in one. It's like 100 megs or something to download it now. Python 2.7 is the base, or 2.5 or better. I can't remember what it is. It is great, man. Blender.org. I've been using it for years, since before it became freeware.
Number 19. The charming redneck joke. Number 20. Kyle defends his patriotism, but not his behavior.
GIMP is fun too.
Number
GIMP's good
21.
stuff.
Introduce booze, then show his sensitivity by making sure she doesn't get puke in her hair. Ah, he really cares. Number 22. Sniper School. The film doesn't mention that Kyle signed up for an intelligence job when he volunteered. And the book explicitly states that Kyle wasn't trained as a sniper until after his first
There's
tour
a
of
big
duty
break
was
coming
over.
in these two voices.
Number 23. Phone calls to Taya. If it wasn't for phone calls, they might never have talked to one another, is the implication. Number 24. Dr. Phil Kyle. That's a shitty thing to say. Kyle says loads of shitty things in the book. 25. The film implies that he couldn't shoot for shit until he got Taya in the sack. Number 26. Shoots a rattlesnake. Not in the book. Number 27. September 11th, 2001. This event is mentioned in the book. Number 28.
Radical understatement.
Proposal for marriage. Kyle supposedly has everything planned except he's like Indiana Jones, making it up as he goes along. Number 29. Tour number 1, Fallujah. The book disagrees. Number 30. Man, they got this one sniper's been hitting headshots. Film ham-fistedly introduces the main villain, who is obviously a crazy fanatic because he doesn't go for center of mass shots like a pro. Number 31. Resume from the beginning. In medias res is a very ancient storytelling technique, but this movie does not deserve any awards for using it. Number 32. Kill number 1. A kid. Not in the book. And the witness is supposed to tell us what to think about it. Number 33. Kill number 2. A mom.
I'm going to put down Amam, not Imam.
Is in the book,
On
more or
text.
less.
And that
Again, calling her evil bitch doesn't make it so, but I'm sure everyone in the audience needed to have that pointed out. The movie consistently puts words Kyle would say into other people's mouths. Number 34. Where is everybody? The comic book is a graphic novel scene. And is very punishing, indeed. Number 35. Dude, that was evil like I ain't never seen before, and not how I envisioned the first one would go down. To paraphrase the spotter, Kyle's definition of evil is plastic and subject to much debate. Next 4 items are a composite mess of stories found in the book. 36. Overwatch, Einstein, partly in the book. Number 37. Kyle pegs the driver of a car bomb. Number 38. Kyle pegs a man setting an IED. Number 39. Kyle pegs an insurgent with an AK. Number 40. Mustafa gets a kill while Kyle is working. Not in the book. Number 41. Smells like piss in here. Kyle was the one who pissed. It wasn't any Iraqis or insurgents either. Number 42. Gonna write up some shooter statements. How many? 6 plus 2 unconfirmed. Kyle inflates his own ego at the same time as he inflates his kill.
Trying to keep your jaw together like this and doing that down all come here.
Number 43. He's carrying a Quran. Look, I don't know what a Quran looks like. Psst. Kyle, you genius. It's a fucking book. Number 44. Ball-breaking legend. Up till now, his nickname is supposed to be Tex. Delivered by Biggles, not in the book. Kyle responds by throwing food at him instead of starting a fist fight. Number 45. You killed anyone yet? Taya, who is presented as being semi-critical of warfare at the beginning of the movie, secretly taking perverse pleasure in knowing she's married a killer. Number 46. If you was 300 pounds, oh, that's so romantic. How's my boy?
Remington. Model 700, yeah.
Obvious sarcasm was ruled out in
I missed a lot of product placement when I think about it.
rehearsals, and instead they decided to play it as if this was romantic. Number 47.
Melodrama over little brother Kyle being sent to Iraq with
Session number 1, session number 2.
the Marines.
Number 48.
Headshed briefing on Al-Qaeda assets and local power structure. Number 1 dude, Zarqawi. The only reason to use Zarqawi is because of all of the news coverage, not because he was in Fallujah.
Number 49.
Because SEALs are actually trainers and personnel coaches when they're not watching porn and playing video games, like the book describes.
Number 50. Let those dogs sniff out Zarqawi.
Mark Lee speaks to Kyle. Dogs refers to regular infantry and Marines, and implies SEALs are a higher class or something.
Number 51.
Mustafa is not an Iraqi, but a Syrian Olympic shooter. No sense in saying he's Iranian when Syria is overrun with ISIS.
Number 52. Fuck this. I'm gonna go clear houses with Marines. You coming?
Don't cower out on Kyle. This scene isn't in the book, but his views on cowardice are. He made George Patton look like Shirley Temple.
Number 53.
Training up means let me lead. How do you spell control issues?
Number 54.
Kyle, interrogation sniper. The only interrogator in Iraq that didn't use waterboarding.
Number 55.
Local warlord and mini-boss bad guy is identified.
He come. He drill. Drill.
Right out of the movie.
Not in
No,
the
that's
book.
me, but that's how it was done.
Number 56. Sir, first platoon's planned down.
Who is the sir here?
Number 57.
Intelligence headshot. Kyle turns up an unknown alias. Right. Not in the book.
Number 58. Headshed.
The term is in the book.
Gonna want contractors in and on it. We're hunting dollars.
Not in the book.
Number 59. I was in seminary before I joined the Navy. Why? Gambling.
Not in the book.
Number 60. Hey, babe.
Gunfight phone call is in the book, but not in this place, time, or circumstance.
Number 61. Oh, shit.
The fictional family is gonna get wasted.
Number 62. Ramping up psychology. Butcher. Mustafa. Drill in kid's leg. Bullet stopped by helmet. all fictional. Dog on roof, roof, roof. Number 63.
The bad guys escape in a Toyota pickup. Product placement. Mustafa is on foot, like he's not only cool, but environmentally conscious.
Number 64.
Seals catch hell, or is it Marines?
I definitely fell more into the character. It's about the disappointment at the end.
Number 65.
The film implies that Kyle spent 3 weeks hitting the gym prior to the end of Tour 1. Definitely not in the book.
Number 66.
Homecoming number 1. Taya is still pregnant because 250 days isn't quite a full gestation period.
Number 67. I have an alien growing inside of me.
Not in the book, although, like in the book, it compares reality to a popular Hollywood blockbuster.
Number 68. Must be nice to get out. Kyle's pattern of decompression is in the book. He stayed at home for 1 or 2 weeks, avoiding roads, highways, large numbers of people, and loud noises. Number 69.
The ultrasound tech at the Obgyn seems willing to do work on Chris for free. And this years before Obamacare. Bonus points. High blood pressure was mentioned in the book, but only after 4 tours.
Number 70. You sabotaged me back there.
Not in the book. And be careful, Taya. He's all about payback, is Kyle.
Number 71.
Kyle lets loose, and Taya immediately goes into labor. Uber convenient timing is uber convenient.
Number 72.
I don't think that there's a single shot in this movie where a newborn actually looks real, instead of being an obvious doll. No babies were harmed in the making of this film, and brain damage the audience receives may not be permanent.
That is my favorite line. No babies were harmed in the making of this film, and the brain damage the audience receives may not be permanent. Surgeon General's warning.
Number 73.
Kyle watches Mustafa's snuff films. While the book does mention the existence of such films, it only ever
May or may
admits
not,
to
right?
Kyle viewing pirated
It could be either,
DVDs
but
he
I'm gonna err on this side of optimism. May not.
bought while in Iraq.
Number 74. Was that him that day?
Not in the book. This is the film's way of attempting to establish what drove Kyle to go back for 3 more tours.
Number 75. They're savages. Hey, they're fucking savages.
That is in the book.
Number 76.
Tour number 2. Now Kyle is amazingly a
Different
chief,
cuts.
i.e. the highest rank he can be as an enlisted man. Not
Wow.
chronologically accurate.
Number 77. Legend, huh?
Little brother Kyle has lost his faith and
Just tired, man. Going home. Fuck this place.
i.e. Iraq. This is in the book, but it's Chris Kyle who says it, not his brother.
Number 78.
New brass.
Should have done that again.
Insurgency is now the issue.
Number 79.
It's like a blowed out tire.
Is that you? Crusader Cross, yes sir.
The bounty posters, according to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. And the book notes that Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it also establishes that Kyle wanted to be in a crusade because he's a Christian. I guess that made him a bit of an extremist in his own way.
Number 80. Let's put fear of God in these savages.
The DA squad to hunt down the butcher is not in the book, and that's how to win hearts and minds in the audience. A soldier is like a child. He only says words like savage if and when he overhears an officer adult saying them.
Number 80.
Kyle knew PowerPoint. Product placement. But the audience has no more idea of where the hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the sequence do. According to the book, Kyle didn't train to be a sniper until tour number 1 ended and was deployed to Baghdad, Sadr City, and Fallujah during tour number 2.
Number 82. You got a god?
This scene is not in the book and is trying to establish Lee's morale as already being lower than low.
Number 83.
Lower than low.
I want to believe in what we're doing. There's Eva here. We've seen it.
Have we? I know the script is mighty bad, but calling it evil without burning it or refusing it seems melodramatic.
Number 84.
The DA operation, not in the book, at least not this circumstance, but is described as routine. Most of the scenes in this sequence are obvious trickery to get emotional reaction, like the same canned baby crying that we heard in the hospital. Because all canned babies are equal.
Canned baby. Number 85.
Series of shots with Kyle showing bared arms but no Crusader tattoo. The other soldiers have to let it slip that he's the legend. Doc dropping on purpose is bait for trolling.
Number 86.
Biggles Doc drops Kyle, which is movie rationale for wounding Biggles later.
Number 87.
Soldiers at Chow. Kyle spots the security hole, the host's elbow, not in the book.
Number 88.
Kyle makes an excuse to excuse himself from a meal in progress. The secret of good comedy is not only timing, but also good personal hygiene.
Number 89.
The floor has a hidden compartment that the soldiers didn't find immediately upon invading the house, under mats and rugs, not in the book.
Number 90.
Close up on Major League arms cache, not in the book. The book does describe in detail every weapon that Kyle used in Iraq, as well as his brand name body armor and other assorted protective gear.
Number 91. Bring the terp in. It's a terp?
Terp, terp, terp.
The book does use the slang for interpreter, but Kyle doesn't need a terp until tour 3 or 4.
It's a terp.
Number 92. Package is moving.
And it won't be protected afterwards. If the package picks up a weapon, he's perfectly acceptable as a target. The ROEs say so.
Number 93. Execute.
Package picks up a gun and is shot.
Number 94.
A room with a hanging body and assorted body parts is in the book, but not during tour number 2.
Number 95. Oh, shit. Found a tunnel.
Is in the book, where they are labeled rat tunnels. Rat is only marginally less offensive than savages.
Number 96.
After a 90-second firefight, Kyle runs down to the street where he gets the butcher. Not in the book. And neither was the butcher.
Number 97.
Mustafa's cell phone spotter network. In the book, Kyle claims or admits that the insurgent cell phone network had been compromised by the electronic intelligence apparatus.
Number 98.
Armed crowd and SEALs pulling out. The Punisher logo is prominently displayed on the Humvee's gun mount. Out of order according to the book. Also, product placement, since Kyle reused the Punisher logo on his own merchandise.
Number 99.
Homecoming number 2. Kid number 1 is now 3 or 4 years old, and only after one tour overseas, 250 days. Same kid uses 4-syllable words precociously.
Number 100.
The wounded vet guilt trips Kyle into visiting the vet hospital in San Diego. 'Cause it's not like Kyle should have had at least some counseling.
101. They made it back, but they're just not back, you know?
No?
102. Hey, buddy.
Generic patronizing rhetorical device is patronizing, and the next line of script is definitely not needed.
Can I talk to you? 103.
Kyle refuses to salute a vet, and it's a wonder another vet shot him, right?
104. Grab your lizard there. What?
All right, the toy.
105. Your sister.
Not only is the kid 224 times 2 old, but Kyle now has a newborn daughter.
106.
The only shots of actual newborns in the film. In a hospital creche with 2 nurses and behind reinforced bulletproof glass, no less.
107.
Breastfeeding doll with fingers and arms that really move.
108.
It's like a script item that came off the back of a 1980s ad for a doll. You know what I mean? On the TV. Get the happy sucky baby, which will pretend to eat, pretend to piss, needs to be changed, and the hands and arms really move.
If the previous shot wasn't a doll, it definitely is now.
109. You can only circle the flame so long.
Not in the book.
110.
Tour number 3, not geo-identified. Biggles and Lee are killed within 24 hours of one another. Book says it was in Ramadi, and indeed, that is where Job and Lee were wounded and killed.
111.
Mustafa has peepers because he's Kaiser fucking Soze, bro. Yet more reality being compared to much better, more popular movies. Just like the book, using movies to describe reality, I mean. And it is overdubbed.
112.
Mustafa has a child and a picture of his Olympic medal ceremony on the wall. Wanna bet Mustafa's child won't grow up as fast as Kyle's son did?
113.
Team gets ambushed prior to being ambushed because excitement.
114.
Punisher logo on body armor. Product placement.
115.
Biggles did get it by a ricochet off of his own gun. It's in the book.
So all I had to do here to get this animated sequence of these particular frames, and it's 5 frames in a row that I ripped directly from the movie. All I had to do was take 5 shots of those particular frames and then space them out as, 30 frames, 30 frames, 30 frames. Same frame 30 times. And that's easily done in Blender.
But Mustafa didn't
It's like the ultimate animated GIF.
fire the shot.
116.
Biggles had the ring? Sauron, you evil fucker. Not in the book.
117. Only one sniper could have made that shot.
Not in the book. But at least he didn't say Sand People, Imperial Stormtroopers, or Darth Vader.
118. Lex Talionis.
I.e., eye for an eye. Lee is the next to die, so let's have him say something Latin to make it poignant.
119. We're going back out.
Not exactly in the book, especially since he's not a chief at this point.
120.
On the way to the ambush, they get ambushed. In case you were gone out for popcorn, i.e. crack, the first time.
That's a long cut there.
121.
Boom. Headshot.
122.
A tension sequence with a jump scare ending.
This is a
123.
Mark Lee gets his, and this is pretty much in the book. In my opinion, if a studio puts an actual death sequence on film of an actual person who lived and died in this way, then they should also put an in memory of on the fucking film somewhere. Are Mark Lee's family getting royalties?
124.
Kyle did return to attend a double funeral, but the book relates that another SEAL had died before Biggles or Lee, and anyway, Biggles was still alive at that point.
125.
Lee's mother reading a letter purportedly sent by Lee. Rather than
Is that Julian Assange then?
actually read it through, she chokes up. Thanks, Clint.
126.
Melodramatic reactions to rifle fire. Count the number of people who jump ahead of the gun. ×2 if it happens more than once.
127.
Aggressive driving at home where you don't get ambushed on the way to the ambush. Normally. And never after a funeral, like in Grand Theft Auto. Mitsubishi product placement.
128.
Taya explicitly asks for Kyle's opinion of Lee's letter. That is in the book, but the film's answer is different than Kyle's answer in the book.
129.
Visiting Biggles. Not chronologically consistent, i.e. too early.
130.
Sauron took back the ring from him after he'd finished eating all of Biggles's pie. The new ring doesn't have any blood on it. A joke in the movie. Blood diamond.
131.
True, Biggles' fiancée did agree to the marriage, but no royalties for her or his family either.
That's Biggles smiling.
132. Deadliest snapper in U.S. military history.
Scuttlebutt will be the death of Kyle.
133.
Sada City is
Sada City.
explicitly named, which is, according to the book, near Fallujah, but avoids the time Kyle spent in 2 other cities first.
134.
Biggles frowning. The mention of Sadder City makes him frown.
Payback in the book happened immediately afterwards and even has a section subtitle. But there was no Huya legend, and they didn't get anyone specifically. They went out looking for anyone to shoot.
135.
Kyle did have a depressed or fatalistic side. The movie drops the Kyle has a plan pretense at this point because no one with a brain bought it in the first place.
136.
The serve my country rationale is bogus. When he explains it in the book, he posits his wife and kids as the victims of a murderer who then drops the gun he used to kill them. So he's not allowed to shoot the murderer. The NRA obviously did not want this in the movie.
137. I need you here.
Is also in the book. The implied threat of separation is also in the book. Separation, in fact, is also in the book.
138.
He hugs the threat away now, but doesn't want to go home when the next tour ends. She is right.
139.
Tour number 4, Sada City. The book agrees.
140.
Biggles is dead. Delivered way too early, just like Kyle's promotion to chief.
Sora! 141.
The RPG-wielding man and the kid who responds to Kyle's wishes or prayers. Not in the book. The kid has a gun in the book, and Kyle states that he would not shoot an armed child. He explains he'd rather wait for the evil man who told the kid to pick up the gun. How the hell he'd know who that is, you be the judge.
142.
Memorable Iraqi kid product placement. Available in any fine Hollywood talent agency.
143.
Whoa, baby, that's a shot. Bam.
What's this, like blue balls or something?
144.
The T-wall operation, this is in the book, doesn't involve trapping anyone but rather to prevent RPG attacks. Recognize this argument, or did you already forget about the bloody big wall between Israel and Palestine?
145.
Mustafa was not killed by Kyle. Kyle says so in the book, and not killed in Sada City either.
146. He can be whoever the fuck you need him to be.
Hoover.
Lamp shading. Also, isn't this true of any grunt in the army? Never mind.
147.
The armored vehicles of the army were as depicted, and the book includes that Kyle had connections with the unit who operated them. Why ruin a perfectly horrible film with the truth?
148.
Predator drone product placement mentioned in the book, so arguably it is paying lots of close attention to little details now as a pretext for stunning visual effects, not even nominated, during a fictitious encounter.
149. The streets are crawling. Hold your fire.
Is more or less in the book, except the book mentions how most of the US sniper weapons are suppressed, thus quieter. So the dude who says hold fire is the judge for the shooting competition or something.
150.
It never but never pays to pick red shirt when you enlist. Kyle picked this fictitious non-entity in the book when he described how some brave private had to climb the ladder.
151.
Jock-faced newbie is obviously an idiot.
152.
1900 yards in the book during this tour, but not during this fictionalized engagement.
153. Correction. 2100 yards.
Definitely in the book, distance he claimed for the longest kill shot. Again, didn't happen during this engagement.
154.
Surprise reversal in opinions, and he's definitely going to shoot sometime.
155. Aim small, miss small.
Not in the book, but I suspect this is more product placement because Kyle ran a private sniper school, and therefore it makes sense to put his words in the mouths of his teachers before he steals them and sells them as his own.
156.
Add artificial tension, guilt, and recrimination to taste, and pepper liberally with insurgents. Remember to keep a running tally of everyone you kill. In the book, Kyle claims they were always kept a running tally, even in firefights.
Wow.
157. Now we're fucked like a football bat.
Equals an Oscar nod for the best supporting wise ass.
158. Get some.
So there's a whole bunch of baby jokes just a bit earlier. Now comes the wise ass, or here comes the Oscar jokes. There's a shit ton of Oscar jokes here.
Motherfuckers.
No you didn't. Full Metal Jacket ripoff.
159.
Dumb noobs. Never rush a lower level with heavily armed spec ops above you. Some idiot in that group probably had the bomb. Fucking idiot.
160.
Sandstorm from nowhere because that's what drama is all about. Especially in Sada City on the day that Kyle killed Mustafa.
161. Don't stop fucking shooting, man.
Ad-libbed by the actor on the spot. He claimed Eastwood inspired him with his direction. And a Colt 45 loaded.
162.
And the Oscar for the most head-up technical genius in military history who knows by Wi-Fi that the fastest 20 minutes out rescue convoy is now only 3 blocks away 2 minutes later goes to
163.
They call for an airdrop in a sandstorm because visual effects budget and fuck it, the book isn't enough like Black Hawk Down or The Mummy.
164.
Jockface has been in the shit too long. You can hear it in his voice, in the way he says Niner, but his jerk back to camera is hardly wasted. The 1,000-yard stare is next. Then he's going to find himself a bottle of wild turkey and get plastered.
165.
Bam!
So Kyle calls Taya because fuck it, consistency.
166.
Oh, he thinks he's dead. What a tool.
167. Fire away.
The multi-million-dollar smart weapon misses.
168. Green side cleared for exit.
20 minutes out in 5 minutes flat.
169.
And the Oscar for the luckiest frag grenade in Iraq goes to
171.
not the circumstance in which Kyle took a round in the back.
171.
In the book, he left the rifle on the roof, not in the street. And in the book, he claimed he made the evac wait for him to go back and get the gun. Sure he did.
172.
Not in the book. Expected it.
173. Genuine surprise.
Nothing says genuine like the book. Or the film. Am I right?
174.
The book explains that as the fourth tour ended, Kyle was promoted to chief but did not last long in that position. Not too many chiefs, and the book makes other jokes like that.
175.
Big boy and little girl, neither is 500 or 1,000 days old, respectively, according to the book's chronology.
176.
Oh, he's not playing a video game? A joke in the book, how good Kyle got at Tiger Woods golf, and he looted his copy, perhaps.
177. They're here. 178.
Because the abyss Nietzsche meant is well represented by the 4x3 rectangle of a brand LCD screen turned off. Product placement.
179.
Lazy screenwriters should be taken out behind the hovels wherein they reside.
Oh, this is my favorite line, I think. When I crafted this line, I said to myself, oh, this has to be good.
179.
Lazy screenwriters should be taken out behind the hovels wherein they reside, the filthy, broken-down flophouse hovels that they are, and summarily beaten to death with a Nerf bat for writing "Look at you" in a screenplay.
180.
The doctor says what is even more insane is that he's only chronologically 5 years old, 6 foot 4 inches or not.
181.
Yeah, the daughter is losing teeth she only got last week. Afraid she's swallowing it is the least of her troubles as long as the audience keeps swallowing the film.
182.
Philosophy malfunction. Is Kyle still a sheepdog if he stops a sheepdog by beating it to death, or is it safe to assert he is now a wolf and has been one all along?
183.
Removes belt, not in the book, but thanks Pa for fucking my sense of moral turpitude.
184.
Awkward Kyle. The book makes it very clear Kyle only hits people with his fists. When he's not shooting them, that is. The book describes many instances of Kyle getting into brawls, particularly between the 3rd and 4th deployments. Kyle even admits he has a violence problem in the book.
185.
Kyle did see medical and scientific folk for long-term mental issues. But the doctor in this scene is meant for us, not for Kyle.
186. Have you ever done or seen things you wish you hadn't?
Dr. Phil, ladies and gentlemen.
Wish I hadn't written that I belted Jesse Ventura without getting a proper handshake agreement with him ahead of time. Oh yeah, wish I had clean shoot those looters in Katrina neither. 187. The thing that haunts me.
Oh, glad you mentioned that, Kyle. Now we can heal you immediately by reminding you all about the other vets. That is in the book, at least.
188.
Kyle is exploited, lol, because he makes group therapy sessions fun.
100.
The lol in that last scene is over here. Lol will have to pop up on screen somewhere.
It's fun.
189.
Automatically, gung-ho Kyle gets into vet retreat so they can do good work for the NRA. Everyone is happy, especially the guy who's been getting testosterone injections.
NRA. I'll be goddamned.
190.
Proud sponsor of this film, American Eagle Ammo. Product placement, poor taste or otherwise.
191.
Damn, I miss my balls.
192. Who's the legend now?
The answer is actually this dude down in Uruguay who shot 16 armed communist guerrillas with his M4 at over 1,400 yards, blindfolded.
193.
Trust me is bad screenplay humor for foreshadowing that is cast upon a lampshade.
194.
Obligatory I saved the relationship with my son, sequence number 1.
195. And my daughter.
Sequence number 2.
196.
Kyle describes himself as the prankster in the book, but we need padding that also clearly establishes she loves him.
197.
Kyle lectures more than his own dad, who was a deacon. Oh, and son bonding, because it's at least twice as important.
198. Got it, Bubba?
Because indoctrinating kids is cool.
199.
February 2nd, 2013. The second date to be explicitly identified on screen, and the events of this day are definitely not in the book. Who pays money to be able to protect specific dates in infamy? All right, lobby groups.
200.
Great big old family bonding joke with a loaded pistol on the day Dad died by a gunshot.
201. Oh, baby.
"Aw, baby" is a minor felony among scriptwriters, but saying "look at you" twice, see 179.
202.
Moment of editorialization brought to you by the book.
203.
Kyle describes the man who kills him. Movie adds much detail in a long expository Kyle explanation.
204.
Daddy likes video games too, but not when he's in the movie. And besides, I've never seen you before, kid. Who the fuck are you, Bubba?
205.
Poke the bear. Yeah, let's make sure everyone teaches their kids about bear baiting, like in the good old days. Then, when they're bad, we can use bears to scare the bejesus out of them, just like in the Bible. Or just use the threat of Santa, like in Kyle's book.
206.
Chris Kyle was killed that day by a veteran he was trying to help. NRA language, but obviously they don't need to put a logo on there anywhere. A lobby doesn't use product placement.
Boom, ba-dum, bum.
Okie dokie. I don't know, too hokey. I wouldn't call it too terribly hokey. So, that practically gets me to the end of my broadcasting session, I believe. I think what I'm going to be getting at the next time I get back to there is to start the work on the graphic end of Blender, which is the many different ways that I can add information to that graphic stream of still images that I've already got laid down. I got the voice acting part pretty much to where I want it. If I want to spend any more time, I won't be streaming it, recording the audio. But I'm glad that I did that much and showed how you might want to consider going about your workflow if you want to mimic me or follow the lead, so to speak. And I don't want to be a leader. I'm not going to get into the middle of that one. I don't want to be any kind of a leader. I only mean to show and allow the percolation of certain kinds of information in a lateral fashion. So my name's James PFP. This is the Banjocast. It's called Pitchforks, Flamin' Torches. I'm going to be back in, 12 hours or less. Thank you for watching. Pass the word about my channel if you wish. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about any specific content. If you got any questions specifically about Blender, let me know. I'd be only too willing to answer them, either in the stream or elsewhere. Yeah, Seb, I'm going to be checking out your channel before too long, or I'll be looking for your content. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me and for sticking around for the last 3 hours. It's been good. Good having you. I've seen a bunch of people here at once too. I've had 3 and 4 people talking at once. It's great. It's great. I love it. But I have also been thinking about using Mumble or Google Talk, Google Hangouts, to allow for some conversations. I don't know, some people might not want to talk about certain things. At any rate, I got to get on the move. I'm glad I got the work done. So yeah, I'll be back 12 hours or so. I'll be picking up on the graphic end of the Blender problem. Comment below. Talk to you later.